What's up, y'all? So, I just wanted to talk today about some issues regarding the drone scenario. And I've heard a lot of different things, including like whether or not it was a operation to find a nuclear bomb or if it was a operation to cover up a scandal or tyranny or abuse of power within the government. And I think all three are possibilities, if not the case. And I say that specifically because, me being a veteran, and seeing some things within the government, I do think that the government is around here and tensions are escalating so much. I think that my name has been covertly being passed through fabrication all throughout politics and everything else, including the fake staged assassination attempt and a lot of other things. And I believe that it's all government weaponization because the government, the people in charge of the government, they want to have control of everything. They want to have everything you have. They want your ideas. They want your innovations. They want your brain, and they want to take everything from you. And that's the thing. Whether or not it's foreign interference or what, it's clear our local and American officials don't give a shit about the United States Constitution. And with that said, they aren't following or obliging their oath that they took to defend the Constitution of the United States. Nobody has privacy. Nobody has rights. They want to take away speech rights. And there's so much organized crime, even with AI, through hacking and everything. And there's such little competent response by law enforcement. And with that said, it could be safe to assume that it's the government doing it, to protect its own reputation. So, since my video cut out, for some reason my mic has issues, this is also another thing, as I would say that my electronics have been targeted with malware and whatever other things. Because I have a fairly expensive mic. I mean, I have a Yeti X. I think I spent $150 or $200 on it. And I would say it's a pretty good quality. It's a good quality mic in comparison to a lot of others. And, I have issues with it where it goes out. And there's no damages to the cords or anything like that. I have a 3070 Ti graphics card. I have a pretty high quality PC. But I have small issues like that still. Anyways, I do think that's another thing that happens is, my electronics are targeted in that way because they don't want me to say these things that are happening. So anyways, to continue on what is actually happening, and I'm keeping my eye on the microphone output now, so I don't have a muted audio. Here, I'll actually show you my mic right now. See, that's that shit I'm talking about, man. Went down again. Okay, it's back up. Okay, it's back up. So it went down again. There's no reason my electronics should be doing things like that, and I don't think it's a coincidence that it happens while I'm trying to talk about this plot and problem. But anyways, with the drone thing, they might be looking for a nuclear bomb, but the thing is I would say, that's potentially what is around in this area, because I have seen in Oregon that there is drones in the area that I would argue maybe potentially one that I've had, like, having a laser pointing at me not too long ago, to the extent. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is I think that it's, I'm in the middle of court with the United States government because they don't do anything competently, they don't do anything effectively to respond to my reports, to respond to my requests. I am paying tax dollars for no representation and for no service, because the American government and officials want to be untouchable, and they want to have slaves. They want taxes without representation is what they want. But anyways, with that said, with these local representatives, 3 that I've already reached out to in Oregon, I've reached out to the senator, I've reached out to the local congressman, and the local governor. Every single one has not responded to a single request that I've had, while they probably know about what's going on. Because the thing is they've been weaponizing and fabricating about so many scenarios related to me, including the fake Donald assassination attempt. I think it was fake, and it's all things weaponized. Excuse me. It's all weaponized. Weaponization by the government to cover up their abuses, to cover up their scandals and their abuses of power and exploitations. It's practically like the government is being weaponized to steal everything that you have. They want your ideas, they want your innovations, they want everything that is yours, and they will defame you to get it. Anyways, with that said, I also believe that the mental health system is being weaponized to socially atomize the population. For example, they'd say, oh, people looking in your electronics, that's, a mental issue. When in all reality, there are laws in place that show that they do that. And that would be an example. That would definitely be, there are cases where it's obvious that somebody's on drugs or something and saying stuff like that. They're probably, something going on with them. But, for example, if there's somebody like me who's had a career in the government, like the military or anything like that, I would say that it's reasonable to assume that there's activity like that going on. But anyways, with that said, I believe that my rights have been violated by the politicians, a lot of politicians that people wouldn't expect. Even politicians that are fronting as freedom fighters, when in all reality they are the fascists within this country. And they want slaves. In all reality, they want slaves. They want perverted capitalism. They want capitalism to an extent where they can take away your job if you tell the truth. They want capitalism, deals with businesses and everything to silence people, to steal ideas, to steal their everything. But anyways, That's only the tip of the iceberg, because, like I said, I'm in court over this. I'm waiting on this judge to respond, and the court rules in this district are up to the judge whether or not they take the case. That's not constitutional. I have a right to court. It isn't up to the judge whether or not they take it. If I paid for court and I have a right for court, I get a court case. It's not up to the judge. But anyways, I do think that there's some weaponization there. If not, they're doing something to the judge or for the judge, or the judge is being paid or something to cover up to an extent, and their big excuse is safety. Well, it's a hawk of bullshit, because their practices are what is bringing danger. Because in all reality, if you think about the foundations of the United States, where was the United States formed? When people rebelled against the king's tyranny. And this is exactly how the United States is tyranny, governed by tyranny, relatable to that. Like, Donald Trump, I think he's a fraud. I think they're all frauds. A lot of them are fronting as things, but in all reality, they're just pouting off, they're plagiarizing other people's ideas. And they are involved in conspiracy with spies and everything else. I don't care if they're government officials. They're doing it to spy. They're doing it to exploit. They're not doing it for freedom. They're doing it for themselves. Because, like I said, I've reached out to representation. I'm paying taxes for no representation. And that's not how it's supposed to be. They're doing it for they, themselves, and they. They, themselves, and them. Like, that's their pronouns. They, themselves, and them. Anyways, with that said, I've reached out to so many things, and with zero competent response that would actually viably and effectively serve me. And with that said, if they're saying they're serving the people, they're full of a hawk of bullshit. They're doing it for themselves and themselves only. But anyways, with that said, the drone thing, I think it's just weaponization to cover up a current scandal that is going on, that is within the United States. Whether or not it is foreign or local, I can't even say. But, I would say that the U.S. government's reputation isn't the greatest already, so I think that they're full of shit. And, I mean, I've served in the military. I pay taxes, and I don't get fair representation. So with that said, I would say that to objectively look at what's going on, those are probably American drones. Maybe they are looking for something, maybe they aren't, I don't know. But the point is there's so much weaponization against me specifically, and there are so many stories up high that are so related to, closely related to scenarios around me. It's all, conspiracy and government weaponization to really, in all reality, cover up the truth. And that is the fact that they are violating rights, exploiting, and they are extortioners. And, I would say that I should reasonably be given a claim for my violation of rights across the board. If not, there should be impeachments to people for their abuses and unreasonable abuses. Okay, so I've rethought about everything. I keep on having issues with this damn mic. I looked it up, I installed things, and I just had the mic go down again. And so to finish off, what I was saying is a lot of these abuses are being used to violate rights, to exploit, to plagiarize, and practically to have modern slavery. And this is
from authorities and politicians a lot of people would not expect, because they want a fascist state, and I don't. I want a freedom American state, and they don't. That's the difference between me and them. And, you know, some people may, they'll be like, fact check. Well, I mean, they could look at the history of a lot of my requests and a lot of the responses from politicians, from courts, from law enforcement, and they could make their own opinion and maybe come into a stream, watch me stream, and I guarantee you'll see the activity that I'm talking about, because they go on every platform, both professionally and through my hobbies, and they are there to deliberately sabotage what I'm doing. It's conspiracy, it's fraud, and it's extortion. And it leads up to politicians, a lot of them, if not all of them, and they're covering it up. And the whole drone thing, it's just a bunch of bullshit. They want to file an emergency off of some shit they staged. And, you know, that's the representation we have. All I can say is if you're an Oregon resident, I wouldn't vote for anybody that's in office right now. I can tell you that. So, because here in Oregon, we pay taxes, but we get no representation. And that's for damn sure. Okay, I'm going to add one more thing on that too, because one thing that's been evident also is that there's been overseas conspiracy and cooperation with people in the United States. Like, for example, with Europe. I would say that I could confidently say that Europe's been watching this scenario, that Russia has been watching this scenario, that China has been watching this scenario. Maybe almost every single country, if not all of them, have looked at this scenario. I think, you know, based off what I've seen. But the thing is rights are not being respected. I mean, I think I even saw one of the princes in this area. If not, that wasn't a look-alike, but I don't know, they like to do things like that. They like to walk by. I think I've seen Nancy Pelosi in this state too. They like to walk by and not say anything. You know, just to show their presence. Hey, we're looking, but, you know, we're going to put a blindfold on you, and you're going to have to believe what we say. And, you know, that's not the bus that I'm going to ride on. That's all I'm going to say.